What's the most common? You do a lot of public speaking. You've written books about compensation. What's the most common thing that people talk to you about? Maybe other attorneys, clients who come to you. What's the biggest problem when we come to dealing with insurance companies in that regard?
Well, I think the thing that I see the most is people being frustrated with the delay of dealing with the insurance company. Number two, they get frustrated with the denials of the insurance company, and then they get frustrated with the defend. Right. So you have the 3 Ds of insurance. You have the delay, you have the denial, and you have the defend. And I have to deal with all 3 of those elements.
We're not going to name any insurance companies here tonight. Right. No point to, but some advertise, my house got damaged and they were there the next morning with checks. I guess that happens sometimes, but the question might be, should you accept that check? It may not be enough to cover your damages, right?
That's correct. That's a big problem because when you have fast settlements, you end up making mistakes, and oftentimes an insurer may give you an offer, a quick offer, but that quick offer may be less than what you're entitled to get. Mm-hmm. So you always have to take that into account. It may be fast, but it may not be right.
And along with that, you only get one bite at the apple, correct, Tad? And
that's correct.
They're not going to let you take this now and come back later when you discover that you're injured a little worse than you suspected.
That's correct. So you have to be careful about just accepting something right off the cuff without considering the long-term ramifications of what's going to happen if you can't come back at a later time.
Sometimes you get a check, and either the check or what's attached to it will say, by cashing this check, you're accepting final payment, final claim. Does that happen almost all the time?
I've had that happen. That happens most of the time. If you cash a check, that's the end of it.
It says paid in full.
It says paid in full. Everything. You can't come back and try to ask for more at a later time. So I always tell people you need to take some time to consider, especially with accident victims. You need to consider, is your back hurting? Maybe you need to go back and get it checked again. Make sure everything is in line. Make sure you've completed your treatment before you accept the check.
You've said take your time twice now, and I don't know how many times I've heard Josh and Bob and Matt say, don't rush into this, because you mentioned an injury. The day after something happens, you may not feel anything, and weeks later, health problems can start to come up.
That's correct.
Take your time. Don't rush into anything.
That's right.
It is good advice.